of our debt is our cars. We love our cars in America. Men especially love our cars because that's who we are. What we are is what we drive. Women, you love cars too, but it's usually because y'all just view it as a gigantic purse to put stuff in. But anyway, that's another story. But it's a good thing that women do not own car lots because they look, where'd my picture go? Oh, well, I had a cute little picture that had red cars and blue cars. I had a car lot, and that's what a car lot is. Anyway, but we are what we drive. I mean, our friends can buy $1 million house, and we won't be impressed as much as when they pull up in a brand new car, period, because that's our society. One thing that the typical American believes, a lie again, is car payments are just a way of life. You're going to have one all your life, so you might as well get you a good car. That's a lie from the pit of hell. The average car payment in America today is $464 for 55 months. That's the average, so see where yours is. If you don't get anything else we're talking about today, if you'll get this one thing, it'll change your life. And it's not really hard. It just takes a little willpower. First of all, leasing is the most expensive way to buy a car. I know no one has ever told you that before, especially not the car dealer, but let's do the math together, okay? A car dealer that sells a new car for cash will make an average of $82. I have a friend that sells cars, and I checked this with him. He says it's absolutely right. They make $82 profit when you buy a car using cash. If they can talk you into financing the car to make payments on it, their average jumps up to $775. If they can talk you into leasing the car, the average profit of their company jumps to $1,300 per vehicle if they can talk you into leasing it. That's not a lease. That's a fleece is what that is. Bend over because you're getting it. Okay, that is not a lease. Guess which one the dealer will always push you to take? And I know, I'm not knocking on you. A lot of you have it. And I've heard the argument, it's the cheapest way to, my monthly payment. Yeah, but when you turn it in, if you've gone over on the mileage that they give you, they charge you at the yin-yang. And then you could have just bought a car instead of leasing it. But again, the problem is we look to see what the lowest monthly payment is instead of doing the math and seeing how much it costs us in the long run. A brand new car, this will make you happy, especially those that bought one this year. A new car loses 60% of its value in the first 4 years. 60%. A new car is the biggest and the worst investment that we make, but we do it all the time. But think about it this way. If you put $10,000 into a mutual fund, and 4 years later, it's worth, if it lost 60%, you'd fire your broker. You'd fire them, you'd cuss them out and say, I'm never doing money with it. We do it every single time we buy a new car. There's no different, okay? That's what we do when we buy a new car. It's the worst investment we can make. And I know everyone does it. And you're a loser if you don't buy a new car every 3.5 to 4 years, right? Normal is broke, okay? Normal in America is broke, living paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to be normal. A new $30,000 car will lose $18,000 of value in the first 4 years that you own it. Basically, that's $100 a week. So I'm not against you buying a new car. If you've got the money to do it, bless your heart, do it. But every Monday when you go to work this week, for a year, if you're looking for a new car, if you think you want a new car, every Monday when you go to work, toss a $100 bill out the window. If it doesn't bother you, go get the car. And tell me which route you're driving. But this took me a long time to learn, but I want to explain it to you. I have made a deal with myself that I will never, ever, 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 ever buy a new car as long as I live. So you can quote me on it. If I ever buy a new car, please shoot me in the head, okay? I think we were engaged. Can't remember. Ann had a pretty healthy car payment. Before we got married, her car payment was $471 a month. And that was 12 years ago. That's a pretty healthy car payment. But I remember like it was yesterday, she goes, next month, I'm going to pay my car off. What do you want to get? Nothing. But she was thinking, next month I've got $471 and we're getting married soon. So what should we get? So we had this long conversation, and I repeated myself probably 3 times before she got it. But then she got it. We've been married 12 years, and we've never had a car payment, ever, in 12 years. And it's not a get-rich scheme. I'm about to tell you how simple it is. I pay myself my car payment every single month. Instead of giving it to the bank, I pay myself. I don't even do the average car payment, whatever I just said, $464, whatever the average. I don't even do that. I give myself $375. I really ought to bump it up. But I pay myself my car payment every single year. If you pay yourself $375 a month, we buy cars, what, every 5 years, usually, what most people do? 5 years looks like $30,000 cash. It's easy. The first time I did it, I had $9,000 left over. And I got exactly what I wanted. Ann got exactly what she wanted. We bought a slightly used car for a good deal that still had a 100,000-mile warranty on it, still smelled new, didn't have a scratch on it. We got a deal because some dum-dum drove it off the parking lot and said, I can't afford this car, and I sure can't afford the insurance. I didn't do the math. Oh, no. So we got it. Went in there, paid cash for a car. I had $9,000 left over because of my trade-in value. Left over. So I went and bought a motorcycle. I've done it twice. I have 2 motorcycles. Now, you might think that's absurd. No one needs more than one more. I think you're wrong. I think every man needs at least 7 of them in his driveway, one for every day of the week. That's what a real man would do. But so far, I've done it twice, and I've bought 2 motorcycles. Ann got exactly what she wanted, and she'll get mad at me saying this, but we spent $30,000 on a used car. Now, that drove me nuts, because I think that should be a new car, but it's what she wanted, and we had it. So what kind of idiot would I go, well, we can't buy that. That's what she wanted, and we were disciplined enough to pay ourselves a car payment until we were ready for a new one. Not a new one, sorry, a new used car. So if you pay yourself your car payment, you can actually do it. I would say that if, this is just my thought, if you can't pay your car off in the next 18 months, get rid of it. Oh. That's your choice. That's just my opinion. If some of you are upside down in it, get rid of it. You'll lose your shirt, yes, but learn from the mistake. Okay, we've all made mistakes. I'm not here to beat anybody up, and I'm definitely not here to say, look at Jason, he's got all this figured out, because I don't. But we've all done stupid things with money. Can we admit that? I've done stupid things with several zeros on the end that I don't want to talk about, because I'll start crying. It keeps me up at night of the stupid things I've done with money that I'm still paying for. But if you just take your average car payment, put it in a cookie jar for 10 months, you'll have $5,000 cash for a car. And I see your face. You can't buy a car for $5,000. Yes, you can. It'll be a piece of junk, and you'll be embarrassed, and your friends will laugh at you. But if you keep doing it for 10 months, you trade that in, and then you've got $10,000. You've got $5,000 more plus your trade-in value. In 10 months, you can step up. And then 10 months after that, you step up. And within 4 years, you're driving a Jaguar that's paid for, and everybody's like, well, what do you do for a living? I had a Mercedes M-Class when I first started ministry. I sold it because I really got tired of church people looking down at me. I paid cash for it. Long story, I got a brand new Mercedes for $16,000 because my father's company was working with Mercedes, blah, blah, blah. I was making deliveries. But it was a paid-for Mercedes. But church people were like, well, how much are we paying this guy? You know, it's like, I had it before I came here, you jerkwad. You know? But church people do that. They look at you. You are what you drive. They don't care what kind of house you have. But today we buy things that we don't really need with money that we don't have to impress people that we don't even like. It's messed up. My daughter is 10 years old, the one that sang today, if you were here. By the way, she did so good. She knows, is she 10 or 11? What is she? 10. Every year it changes, and I can't keep up with it. You can ask her tonight if you see her, what are you saving up for? And she'll say, a car. She's 10 years old. She knows that Daddy's not just going to buy her a car. If you can do that, so be it. I'm not going to because I'm teaching her that you have to work for something in life. She is on the 401J plan at our house. I have told her that I'm going to match whatever she saves up by the time she's 16. She's 10 years old and she has $500 in her wallet right now. That's scary. I'm scared to death what she's going to have when she's 16. I'm going to have to get another job because I promised I'd match what she had. I don't believe all of this, but here's a great video to show you about
Americans, we love our cars, don't we? Where else on earth can we find a couple who is flat out broke, living paycheck to paycheck with 2 new cars in the driveway? Here's the problem. We've been conditioned to believe that we'll always have a car payment. The average price of a new car is $26,000, which means that many of the cars you see driving around are dragging behind a $464 car payment. And after about 4 years, the car that you just couldn't live without has lost about 70% of its value, and you have over a year's worth of payments left on it. So that means you could end up paying $33,000 for a car that's only worth $6,000. That sweet ride just doesn't seem so sweet anymore, does it? Well, that's okay, because that's the normal way of thinking. We're going to try something just a little bit different. Let's say you now drive a nice, clean, much less expensive car, and you pay yourself the $464 each month. In just 10 months, you'll have $4,640. And if you add that amount to the $1,500 that your current car is worth, you can now pay cash for a $6,000 car. Now, in just 10 months, that's a major upgrade. And here's the best part. You don't owe the bank a dime. Let's not stop there. In another 10 months, you'll have another $4,640. Add that to the $6,000 you can get for your last upgrade, and now you're driving an $11,000 car. So in just 20 months, you've gone from a $1,500 car to an $11,000 car that you own. And here's the best part, you still don't owe the bank a penny. By now, most people aren't even halfway through their payment books. They've still got 44 months of payments left. So just for kicks, let's see what happens if you continue to pay the $464 that everyone else is paying to the bank to yourself in a good mutual fund over the next 44 months. When most people are making the last payment on that car that they just couldn't live without, a car that is now worth less than 30% of what they originally paid for, not only are you driving a great paid-for car, but because of our new plan, you now have a mutual fund that you've earmarked as the Car Replacement Fund. Now, how much money do you have in that fund? Well, at the stock market average of 12%, you now have $26,000. Here's where things get really crazy. You can take $10,000 out of this fund and still have $16,000. Now, let's add the $10,000 to the value of your current vehicle, and that's going to allow you to pay cash for a $12,000 to $17,000 vehicle. And at 12%, the $16,000 still in the fund will make enough interest for you to be able to do this every 5 years. Folks, that's free cars for life. That's what happens when you let your money work for you. You will never have a car payment the rest of your life.
Financial Peace University. Learn how to beat debt, build wealth, and live like never before.
So again, I think some of those numbers are inflated a little bit. And a lot of people do not believe you can make 12% interest. I get all that. I'm not sure I believe that either. But if you take what I said, not that, but just take your car payment, pay yourself, you can do that every 5 years without all that other stuff he said. But just a different way of looking at it. So real quickly, we're going to walk through 7 baby steps to becoming financially fit, and I've got to go fast. I'll just say before you look ahead or think that you'll skip some of these, you really can't. I guess you can. It's your prerogative, but buy them for half, obviously. Go to eBay, buy them used. If you're looking for online mortgage calculators, college calculators, retirement calculators, I like Bankrate.com. That's just what I like. DaveRamsey.com has lots of stuff. He has tons of stuff. But also keep in mind, Dave Ramsey makes money on selling stuff. Okay? Love the guy, think his stuff is incredible, but let's be honest, he sells stuff for a living. Okay? So don't get sucked into everything that he's got, like the $19.99 a month to get this. That's just something that somebody else thought of to make him more money. Okay? So you can get all kinds of stuff for free. The best website that there is the one that Jim talks about all the time, Google. It has everything. Google. Just type in one word, and up comes 54 million websites of what you're looking for. It's the best thing in the world. All right? Has this helped at all? I am 7 minutes over my hour and a half, so you are free to go, but I will answer any question that I can. I'm not an expert. I'm just a deliverer. But with all that said, I'll sit here forever, and if you want to leave, you can. But thanks for coming. This is a great turnout, by the way. So thanks. All right. Oh, and my wife bought some candy with money on it, so, you know. And pick it up because they'll get mad at me that I made a big mess. So, watch your head.